Hello everyone. Here is the story The Science Project by Jeff Kenny. There was once a boy named Victor, and Victor was not a happy child. This was long time ago, before video games and TV and all that. So the only thing that Victor had to entertain himself with were books. And since his parents were both doctors, the only kinds of books they kept in the house were ones about science and medicine and stuff like that. The other thing that made Victor sad was that his parents wouldn't let him have a pet. They told Victor he wasn't responsible enough to take care of an animal and they would end up doing all the work. And even when the victor promised he would feed his pet and take it outside 3 times a day, the answer was always no. The only thing that really made Victor happy was school. He was smart kid from reading his parents' books, and his science teacher said if he studied hard, he would be famous for his work one day. So when it was time for the middle school science fair, Victor was really excited. He worked for a whole month on his project and he hoped it was good enough to win first place. But Lizzie Lagot won with a volcano project that Victor was sure her parents had helped her with. So Lizzie walked away with the first place rosette, and all Victor got was a lousy honorable mention certificate. From that moment on all, Victor could think about was next year's science fair. He read his parents' books from front and back, trying to come up with an idea for a new project, but he couldn't think of anything that would really knock people's socks off. One day, when Victor was looking out of his back window at the cemetery behind his house, he got an idea. To be honest, it was kind of a twisted idea, but Victor knew he could pull it off. His project would win first place in the science fair for sure. Victor did experiments in his attic every night to get ready for the science fair. His parents thought he was spending too much time by himself and wondered if maybe they should have let him have a pet after all. 1 year later, it was finally time for the big science fair, and Victor took his project with him to school. And if you want to know where Victor got the materials for his science project, let's just say sometimes it's better not to ask too many questions. Even though Victor had been working on his project for a whole year, he didn't know if it was gonna actually work. But he knew if it didn't, he would lose to Lizzie Lego for the second year in a row. So when the judges gathered around his project, Victor crossed his fingers and flipped the switch. All of Victor's hard work paid off when his creation came to life, and this time Victor got first place rosette, and Lizzie was the one who had to settle for the honorable mention. On the walk home, Victor was feeling pretty good about himself, but he kind of wished he would thought about what was gonna happen after the science fair was over, because now he didn't know what he was supposed to do with his project. Victor thought maybe he could ditch his creation at the cemetery, but his science project wouldn't take him the hint. Victor picked up a stick off the ground and chucked it over the cemetery gate, but his creation thought it was a game and brought the stick right back. Then Victor started having fun with his science project, and the two of them played for hours outside, and Victor found out things his creation liked the most was to have his belly rubbed. Victor told his parents about his first place rosette at the science fair and they were very proud of their son. And even though they were little concerned about where Victor got materials for his project, they knew that sometimes it's better not to ask too many questions. Victor asked if he could keep his science project as a pet, and after he promised to feed it and take it out 3 times a day, they finally gave in and said yes. From that day, Victor and his new pet were the of friends and they never spent a day apart. Victor became famous just like his science teacher predicted, and he was always in the paper for one thing or the another. Each year, Victor got a little older, but his pet didn't age. And when Victor finally died, his loyal sidekick was right there by his side. Over the years, people forgot all about Victor Frankenstein, but his pet became kind of famous. People called him Frankenstein's pet or Frankenstein's monster, but after a while, they just called him Frankenstein. And he was okay with that, but it kind of made him miss his old friend. Frankenstein didn't know what to do with all his free time now what that was gone, but he knew you couldn't really do something without an education. So he went to school starting with the first grade. And even though he was bigger than other kids, they treated him like he was one of them. Frankston was a quick learner and he actually skipped a few grades. In the middle of the school, he entered the science fair and took first place just like his friend Victor. And if you are wondering where he got the materials for his project, let's just say that sometimes it's better not to ask too many questions. Thank you.